Ever wondered what truly sets unforgettable hospitality apart from just another stay? This is the Global Hospitality Collective podcast, where we go beyond the surface to uncover the stories of short-term rental and vacation rental leaders who are reshaping our industry. Every other week, authors behind the Hospitable Host book series unpack the real strategies, lessons, and heart-led decisions driving meaningful change in hospitality. So if you're ready to challenge the status quo and elevate the way you host, you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
Hi guys, I am excited for today's guest. I am extra excited because I haven't met her before, and honestly, it's really fun to ask people about hosting stuff when you haven't met them. I know that's kind of a weird thing to start out with, but it doesn't matter. Like, she's already got super good energy. I think you guys are going to love her because there's just no way that her aura doesn't translate into however the heck she talks. So, chapter 9 in the Hospitable Host Sisterhood edition that came out in March of 2026. Her name is Dawn Cornett, and I can't wait to ask her questions. Hi, Dawn. How are you?
Hello, Tanya. Great to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you too. Okay, tell the listeners what you do, what you got going on, where you host, all that good stuff.
Yes, I live in a little town called Granbury, Texas, which was just voted for the 5th time the #1 historic small town in the United States. So we are very proud of our little town, not far from Fort Worth. And we do a lot of hosting here and then also host and own properties in Colorado, New Mexico, just launched in Cabo San Lucas. So we are officially international and working on one in California if we can get through the regulation rules. So.
That's awesome. And what kinds of properties do you guys have? Just like single family houses, or is there something more?
Yeah, we started in 2016, so back in the day, and I have 4 adult sons, so we have always bought bigger properties, at least 5 bedrooms, because I am my customer avatar, right? I want to go where I can take my family. So most of our properties are pretty large lake houses, which is fun. So we've launched some in other markets, but really don't have any kind of average single family homes. They're all pretty much big lake houses on the water. A lot of them have pools and hot tubs and just all about the lake life vibe.
That's super cool. So you own a portion of your portfolio and then you must co-host for some people. How much of it is yours? Because I feel like a ton of people have this dream where they're just like, I want 10 houses and I want them in 10 different markets and I want to be able to use them. And I find that to be a very interesting goal because I know why you would do that, but that sounds like something you have done. Is that kind of accurate?
We've done, but we're not there today. So, like, I had the Colorado house since I have one of my boys live in Colorado and we used to use it all the time.
Mhm.
And now, because of regulation changes in Boulder County, we no longer have the Colorado house. And I've had the one in Blue Ridge, Georgia. And because of oversaturation, we don't have that one anymore. So at this point, we started doing that dream
Mhm.
exactly. And now all of our properties that we own, we have 9, are within a 30-minute drive of where we live. But one is waterfront, so we still use it. I go on walks to it. It's a mile from my house. It's a great overflow house for company. And
Mhm.
then I have one that's a micro resort on a ranch. So Texas style, 34-acre ranch. So we still use that in all sorts of cool ways too.
That's awesome. So the reason I had asked about like different markets, how have you found, I have a team, I just have properties in Minnesota. They're just in Minneapolis, St. Paul. They're all within about 20 minutes of each other. How does that look when you're trying to build a team? And I think you named off at least 4 markets, maybe even 5, because now you have the Mexico one. How is it building a different team in every single market? Like, can you tell me what that
I
feels
think
like, what that looks
it's
like?
so stinking easy with Facebook. So just
Oh.
getting on all local Facebook groups, look for someone who's searching for a great cleaner or a great handyman or electrician and see who mentions the same people. And then every time we launch a market, my husband and I go up there, stay for 2 weeks, get to know the people in person, build out a team. And, there'll be a little turnover at first, figuring out your people, and then go back a few times a year, throw barbecues, remember their birthdays, remember their kids' names, and invest in those relationships. So because of Facebook, it's not been hard at all.
I love you because you have this attitude that I'm kind of like I agree with, that it's like you just kind of power through. It's fine because some people want to make things harder than they are. But I love hearing that that's actually pretty easy, because that's probably something that has stopped me, or that has made me make comments that aren't true because I don't have any experience in it, of like why I wouldn't want to get hot properties in 5 different markets, because then you have 5 different teams. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't work, or that it's not super, you know, efficient, I guess, to do it that way, because that just means you have 1 or 2 people that you're dealing with in each market instead of 5 cleaners in one market, because that's kind of the same situation anyways.
And then, like, some people are fortunate enough to have owners they manage for with a lot of houses, like one owner at 5 properties, and then some people have 5 different owners. So it's the same thing. You just kind of navigate through the waters and take
Yeah.
opportunities as they manifest.
Yeah. Tell me how the operations looks like for that. So how do you just assign a cleaner? Do you use Breezeway or something? Are they connected to your PMS and that's how they get all of their cleans in that market, or what does that look like?
Yeah, we rely on Turno super heavily. The Turno
Awesome.
integration with Hospitable, we love it. Makes it easy. I'm super process driven. I just left 13 months ago, my IT career, but who's counting?
Congrats.
So yeah, it was a long time coming. We got my husband out of IT a couple of years ago, and it took a little longer for me. So I've only had my wings and had freedom for a little over a year, which is why I got back just yesterday from 4 weeks in Italy, and we've just been able to work
Awesome.
from anywhere. So it's awesome. Um, but it's been, I'm trying to remember your question.
It was just talking about the process of like making sure
Oh,
you can handle all these different markets.
because, yeah, we both have IT careers. We're very process driven. We love organization and systems and just lots of SOPs and videos and just putting together processes for everything. It helps a
So
lot.
is it just you and your husband? Do you guys have VAs? Do you use some AI? Do you have an assistant? What does that look like?
Yeah, yeah. We've got 2 full-time women in Texas that help manage operations. We've got 5 virtual assistants. I would tell you what, this past year, I mean, we all know guests have become much more demanding, but owners are a lot more hands-on, right? And so we've been having to spread the fun of owner liaison, is what I call it. So because I used to just do all the owner interaction, and now it's like it's a full-time job, right? So
Uh-huh.
we assign an owner liaison depending on personalities and property type and all that fun stuff. So it helps to have 4 of us that are all really competent full-time Americans. Not that Filipinos aren't
Mhm.
competent, because they really, really are. We have a full-time marketing person in the Philippines who's amazing. I don't know why this won't stand. And then we have 4 full-time VAs that do STR and hotel management. So
Okay,
it's a good
awesome,
team.
awesome.
A couple
So
full-time cleaners, you know,
yeah.
it's good.
So that is something that I did want to ask about. So you're starting to get into boutique hotels as well. Do you have a few in your portfolio? Like, what does that look like? Because I mean, there's a single house, and then maybe a boutique hotel has 10 doors or 15 doors or something like that. Like, what does that look like? How is it integrated into your business?
Yeah, so we started investing in boutique hotels in 2022. Got really
Mhm.
excited about it. More passive investments. We have 7 of those. And then we opened our own micro resort. And believe it or not, micro resorts use very similar PMS and systems as hotel operations does. And so they've been doing that since 2022. And in 2024, we heard that I joined a boutique hotel mastermind, actually 2023, and so was surrounded by other hotel investors. And the focus is, where energy goes, focus flows, and that we're all focused on boutique hotel purchases and management. And so I heard they were doing a historic remodel in the town we live in on a little 8-room boutique hotel, and I heard this unique name, Ike. It was the older gentleman who had purchased it, 6th generation Granbury, and that everyone just kept saying, if you can just meet this person. Um, and I was literally like, had done a few meditations that week on, okay, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to meet this person. And you can't make this up. Like my phone rang one day and I looked down and it is his name on my caller ID calling me. And I was like,
Yes.
and he said, hi. My name is, and I have the Nut House Hotel, and we're opening in a few months. And I hear you're the person to talk to. And can you be in my office at 2 o'clock today? And I was like, well, yes, sir, I can be in your office at 2 o'clock today. So that started our boutique hotel co-hosting journey. So we've been doing that since 2024. We have another one and another historic remodel that's where my husband is today doing a construction walk that we are investors in and we're the management company. So that'll be 32 doors. So that'll be quite a bit bigger.
Mhm.
Um, and then we have a coaching company for people wanting to do boutique hotels. So we're working with quite a few people that are either under contract or just bought a boutique hotel and helping them understand how to set up operations. And so that's been fun.
That's super awesome. Boutique hotels are like they're still all the rage. I was part of that a couple of years ago and they're so fantastic and it's a really interesting mesh of what we do in short-term rentals and then what we could do in a hotel if it's not like a big huge flagship. Like, 100 doors in one hotel is a completely different situation than a short-term rental and honestly a short-term rental business unless you have a pretty big property management business. But I think it's really fun to see the ways that they kind of meld together. So I love that you're, on the soapbox telling people about how great it is and how those similarities can help your
I do
business.
too. And like anywhere 5 to 30 doors, really 5 to 20 is just a fun spot where you get to like create an identity for the hotel and a brand and really connect with the local chamber and like make everyone know the personality of it. It's just fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so can we hop over to some hospitality stuff? Like, what is your secret sauce? Like, what do you get the most comments about? Like, what are the thing that you and your company is known for most when it comes to hospitality in your properties?
I would say my superpower has always been able to anticipate what a guest might want before they know they want it. And I know that, like a lot of these things we do, everyone does now. But I'll tell you that in 2017, not everyone was doing things like you will never have to move a bed frame to plug in your phone in my house. Right? Like every
Yes.
everyone has your USB and USB-C plugins on the nightstand. Everyone has a sound machine. So if there's a crying baby in the next room, you're still able to go to sleep. Like all the little details I obsess about and absolutely love. I know a lot of women that just love decorating and design. And no, I want to know, I want to think of everything to make you so stinking comfortable, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It sounds, oh my God, I just had to have a conversation with this about somebody the other day that I'm just like, where are the outlets? So, because someone's going to move the bed. Like, so where are the outlets? Like, are they already there? Like, what are you going to provide to ensure that they don't have to move the bed? Because even sometimes, like, I put four on each side and still sometimes they move it. And I'm just like, what are you moving it for? Like, why do you need more than four outlets on one bedside table?
I tell you what, on our little Italy tour, I decided to try to meet a different version of myself that I've never met my
Love
spontaneous
you.
self. My husband asked if we could not make any travel plans and play it by ear and just go to all different boutique
Oh.
hotels and STRs across Italy. And I'm like, it's cool. I could be cool, right? It was stressful, right? So we stayed at a lot of different Airbnbs and boutique hotels. And dude, the Airbnbs, I had to move furniture every time. I'm like, what are
Mhm.
people thinking? And there's no
Yeah.
lighting. Like, where's the makeup mirror? How am I supposed there's no lighting.
Europe is different. I really do think like I've done a lot of European travel and Europe totally has a different vibe. Like when you travel, like you will probably not find a ton of American style like short-term rentals because they don't think about it or they don't care and it doesn't matter half the time there. And I don't know if it's just because they've been around for literally ever or what the deal is, but I do love that about, a lot of hospitality forward places in America, like people go over the top. Like it's so fun. Like to and my expectations are so high now because of how much American travel I've done that I'm like,
Yeah.
well, where are the pans? Like why aren't there pans here? Like what's happening? Or where's the foil so that I can roast some vegetables? Like those are the things that I like using in my hosting business as well. That it's like you just go over the top because of course there's foil there. Like why wouldn't there be? You don't need to go out just to buy freaking aluminum foil. That's such a silly thing to buy.
But I will tell you, the level of hospitality was better. I mean, I had fresh
Yeah.
pastries on my door every morning. Anything I needed, I'll be right
Fun.
there. And lots of gifts, all sorts of, yeah. And it's all food. That's their love language. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't run over and make sure people have pastries when they wake up. And it was
No.
amazing. So really,
No.
really. and everyone meets you for a walkthrough. There's no self check-in. It's all old lock keys that I had to try to not lose. So
So is there anything that you discovered while you were in Italy for those 4 weeks that you want to bring into your properties because it was so like, oh my gosh.
I do. We already like, I love calling people before they check in. People don't answer anymore like they used to, but really
Mhm.
forming that connection with people before they arrive so they know like we're human. But I really want to figure out how to do more personal. You were
Yeah.
asking earlier about AI, and we've started using HostBuddy AI quite a bit and deploying, looking like the whole next week. All I'm doing next week is AI courses, for like 6 days, all different ones, just to figure out, how to really make our business more efficient. But how do we integrate AI in the operations side to make it rockin' and marketing side, yet make it more personal with the people?
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's what
No,
I'm trying to figure out.
that's
But
awesome. I
like
love it.
also, if I want to go buy a croissant over there that was made that morning, it's $1. And here, if I actually go to the fresh bakery, it's $6 each. So it's like, how do you
Yeah.
do that too with your margins?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've thought of that too. Like, I have a friend that she's got a couple of different properties, and honestly, it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard about when it's short-term rentals. She's got a vibe of a house. They call it their granny house. They literally set it up like it's like you're going to your grandma's house, but it's cooler. It's like, the things that we get to now, but they like name their house and then they put Dr. Pepper because the grandmas in the area that she grew up in, Dr. Pepper was always what grandma had, and she always had hard candies. So they like were able to do that. And then they have another house where they have chickens that are and they're near that house, so they can give fresh eggs, but it's because it's near that house. So it's really interesting when you think about like every house has a different personality. Every area has like, I mean, you're in a few different markets, so that makes a difference on like what's available, what's near, and then also the operational excellence of like how do you make sure that this consistent every time? Because whenever somebody comes and they have like a 50th birthday or something like like a milestone birthday, I leave balloons and then they comment about it, and then if somebody else comes that's only 42 but I don't leave balloons. Like it's because they made it a big deal. Or like when you talk to a guest and they're like, it's my husband's 50th birthday, and I'm so excited to go to this house, and that's the reason that I moved to leave something. But then I feel bad because if somebody because they'll always comment on it, which is fantastic. But I hope somebody else doesn't feel bad, which is such a hilarious thing in hospitality. You're just like, oh, I don't want somebody else to not have as good of an experience. But it's how do you make sure that you can show up consistently? How can your team ensure that you have that consistency across the board? Because can you always leave eggs? Because if people comment about it, that means other people are going to expect like eggs being left every morning or however that looks.
Right.
And how do you fold that in? So it's interesting. Tell me about a fun story, something weird, anything that's happened at your properties that just kind of stands out that you're just like, man, and it could be an issue that you were able to hospitality the heck out of it and still get a 5-star. Do you have anything cool about that?
I've got a newer owner that we went and met them at a rodeo and to hang out. We had just launched their property and they had extra seats at their table. They're sponsoring and they said, we are so excited. So we just went by the STR and set up a free liquor bar. Like it's on a car, it rolls in, it is stocked. And it
Hmm.
just, I need you to put a sign on it that just says pay it forward. And I was like, pardon me? Like, just free unlimited vodka, bourbon, tequila. And they're like, isn't it the best? And I'm like, have
No.
you considered liability? And they're like, listen, we'll let insurance worry about that. We're more worried about the fact that we never want anyone to have to show up and not be able to immediately make their
Have a
cocktail.
cocktail.
Like, you shouldn't have to go to the store.
Oh,
And
God,
they're
that
not
concept is
interested in
so
hearing anything
great.
otherwise. So I had to come back and tell my team, we are stocking a free liquor bar and making a sign that says just pay it forward.
Oh my goodness. As the co-host, how have you dealt with this? Because I think about I think about alcohol and whether or not we leave it and all of that kind of stuff. And I think about a recovering alcoholic and seeing a whole entire thing of, alcohol. How has it gone? Because it sounds like it's happening.
It's
How has
happening.
that gone so far? And have you gotten comments? Has anybody said like, "Hey, this isn't locked up, and we have kids in the house"? Like, anything so far?
Surprisingly, it's been since January. The only comment was, "This is really nice, but we'd really like to pay for it," and there was no way to, and so it was just okay. But girl, I've been sober for 17 years. Yeah, and I can't say it bothers me today, but that first 2 years might not
Uh-huh.
have been a great idea, you know? So I didn't even think of that aspect. I think of liability. We've never even left wine in our houses as welcome gifts because we worry about liability. We've seen so much crazy stuff. So I'm all
Yeah.
about the food, but I don't want to provide anyone's liquor. So
Yeah.
I
So,
mean,
so it's been going well though, and you haven't had any issues. Do people consume it? Like, because you guys have to check levels. That means, and maybe like vodka this time, gin that time, bourbon the next time. How do people use it a lot?
a little bit, not much. It's wildly interesting. I'm thinking, you know, so statistically, 1 out of 10 people in the United States are alcoholic. And so, like, if you're ever in a group, there's always one person in the group. It's just like, one more bottle, you know? So
Hmm.
I'm thinking we just haven't had those people stay there yet, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, interesting. Oh my
People are
gosh.
like, oh, whatever. So,
Yeah, I mean, I've got friends that do soda. I'm from Minnesota, so we call it pop. So they do
yeah.
Coca-Cola, they do Sprite, they do Pepsi, whatever. And they just stock a whole entire fridge with it. She literally buys it directly from the Pepsi distributor, the Coke distributor, and I don't think a ton of it gets used. So it's interesting because we can actually get away with a lot of things that we can put in our listing that people can be excited about and might only cost you 50 cents. Like a soda, like a can of soda, if only one gets used, it's only 50 cents. Like, who cares? And if
Sure.
one of them drinks 12, who cares? Because, of the how much you actually spend, every single guest doesn't matter. So it's interesting that they don't like that doesn't get used. Do they also provide mixers or just like straight booze and ice?
Just straight booze and ice, girlfriend.
Oh my god. How
Yeah, I mean, and
interesting.
we don't talk about like I'm my own customer avatar of the type of properties I buy, and I think about what do I provide in my welcome basket? Girl, it's a lot of water, a lot of LaCroix, and it is pancake mix with Nutella and syrup. Like there's always pancake mix with chocolate involved because I grew up with, chocolate chip pancakes. So yeah, I've never thought about that before. But yeah, I leave what I would want. I need my LaCroix and I need my chocolate pancakes.
I love it. We typically leave popcorn, and like sometimes it gets used, sometimes it like a lot of times it doesn't. It's just about like, well, if somebody comes in at 11 o'clock and they're starving, and all the restaurants in the area are closed, like what could they potentially have? There's typically food in a cupboard as well. Like there's always some kind of spaghetti or spaghetti sauce. But it's interesting. I think this is what I love about hospitality so much is that we all have our own version, like of
Mhm.
what is amazing for us. Like in Fort Worth, Texas, where you're from, this is, there's very specific things that are normal in your area. Whereas in Minnesota, like honestly, the things I want to provide are a pan of bars. And a pan of bars means like a pan of special K bars, Rice Krispie bars, brownies. Like in Minnesota, we refer to them as a pan of bars or chips and dip. Like chips and dip is a thing here. It's not like salsa in in tortilla chips. It's just, like a normal chip with a sour cream based dip, and people wouldn't know that if they're not from Minnesota. Like it's a total normal thing for that to be provided. And I think that's one of the cool things, and I would love to have like a house every time I go to a new market. Like what's the weird thing about you guys? Like what's the thing I should try because I'm not from Utah or I'm not
Yeah,
from
right?
Texas? Like what's the thing that you guys are like, it's a thing here. And it's kind of a welcome basket, around that would be really smart.
That is fun. Although I see most of my guests that come are from Dallas Fort Worth. Most of them are Texans. So do you find that too?
Yes, I suppose I do. Actually, like we're in an urban market, like we're in the Twin Cities, so Minneapolis and St. Paul. And a lot of people don't like Minnesota is pretty big. Not as big as Texas. It's big though. And people do come from like this is where you would go to sporting events, you go to concerts. Like it doesn't mean we don't have other big cities, but this is really the hub. So a lot of people are coming into town for that, or they're, coming into town to see their parents and they no longer fit in their childhood home.
Yeah.
So like here's our overage, like that kind of stuff. And then a lot of people coming into town to see their kids on college, at college. We're right by a couple of colleges, really nice ones. And I don't know if they ever get to experience the Minnesota experience, and having this conversation made me go, I think I need to give them a Minnesota experience and be like, hey, we dip our chips in sour cream in different sour cream dips. Try it or throw it away.
That is fun. I like it
Yeah, I
because,
love it.
I mean, for years, I've also left salsa in a bag of chips, but it's the chips from the grocery store that every chip is in the shape of the state of Texas. Because that's what's
Shut
common at
up.
our grocery store. So
I didn't even know that that was a thing.
I'll
Oh my
send you a
God,
photo
that's
next time.
yeah, no, absolutely. Again, I love the different hospitality of what we do, and like, has there ever been anything you left out that was very surprising, like the chips? I mean, have people, like, when someone isn't from Fort Worth or that area, have you ever gotten, comments about things that you do leave out that they didn't know existed?
No. And we have plenty of out of state people. I'm just saying the majority,
Yeah, yeah,
drive,
absolutely.
especially since COVID, right? Like people are often going to drive to markets.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's yeah, the regional markets are kind of a lot more popular, I guess. Okay, so if someone were brand new in hospitality, you've been around for 10 years now. What is one new thing? What is one new person? What is a thing one new person could ask you that you think, or like, what's one thing you would want to share with a brand new host that, could help them calm down about, oh my gosh, I have so many things to care about now?
Really, all you care about is getting bookings off Airbnb.
I love you. I love you
We
so
care about
much.
one thing, and that is creating your guests to be your guests.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So how do you recommend people do that? Like, I mean, if
I
they've
mean,
only got one property and they're brand new.
it was 5 years into our hosting journey before we started using StayFi and capturing every email. And so, like with big lake houses, we'll often have 15 or 20 people stay there. I don't
Mhm.
need the email address that for one person that booked it that Airbnb is not going to let me have anyway. I need all 20 people that are trying to connect their devices. So
Mhm.
capturing those and having a direct marketing email campaign. And it just seemed complicated at the beginning. And it's just so easy when you set something up. But making sure you're doing lots of marketing, getting them to follow you on Instagram and tag you on Instagram, and having a Instagram and Facebook property per house, and always having a direct booking website and all the stuff,
Mhm.
you know.
That's awesome. How, if you had to say what your percentage of direct bookings was, what do you think it is year over year?
It varies month by month, but it's always between 15 and 20%, which is,
Awesome. It's
flat
great.
for what I'd like it to have be. But
Of
yeah.
course. No, that's awesome. Like, kudos to you, because I know that anytime I hear anybody that's got more than 10% bookings that are direct, like that's a good goal to start with, and sometimes it can be hard to get further than that, or like your house might have to have like such a personality or needs a really lot of followers, or at least that's the stuff that I think of. So but again,
Yeah,
kudos
and
to
like hotels naturally, boutique hotels are direct bookings. Like the Nut House
Mhm.
Hotel is the hotel we manage here in Granbury, and I just pulled the numbers, is 97% direct bookings since we opened 2 years
Yeah.
ago, right? And so it's just occasional booking on Airbnb and Booking.com, and that's because of how it markets out to Google Hotels and all that stuff, right? And so we just spent quite a few months migrating. We had our whole micro resort set up in Hospitable and have
Oof.
great systems for it, but we just moved it
Uh-huh.
off Hospitable over to Cloudbeds just because we've got to create it to be more than 50% direct bookings. It just doesn't make
Yep.
sense.
Yeah, that was a big learning curve for me. Like, you just said two things that I completely agree with, is hotels, or when you get into boutique motels or hotels, that is a very different thing. Like, you are essentially direct book. Like, it's a difference, which is really, really fun. And then that second piece is, I did the exact same thing, Don. I was on Hospitable as well with 12 rooms on a hotel, and I'm just like, you can't just move somebody over real quick. That's like not an
Mm-hmm.
easy thing. And it's like, but it needs to be an easy thing, because I don't need them to stay in room 12. They need to be in room 7. This is a better room, and the weather, whatever, the better view, and nobody needs to be in this one. And cloud beds is an easier, like
Yeah.
it's an easier move, I guess. So I'm
And
glad you
so, like, I'm
discovered.
trying to figure out, how do we encourage people to do more direct bookings in our short term rentals, right? And so I was
Yeah.
thinking about it when we were in Italy, and I was like, so many people provide breakfast in Airbnbs. It's really interesting. And I was talking to one of the locals, and they're like, I don't understand. You have an Airbnb and you don't provide the bee? Like, how do you not provide the breakfast? It's not an Airbnb then. It's a air bed. And I was like,
Oh,
well,
that's how it
yeah,
started, by the way.
I know, right? An air mattress. I was like, well, yeah. So I was like, you know what? There must be a way. What if we just leave a cute little basket in the fridge of eggs and bacon? And like, what if we're the people that when you book direct, not only do you get early check in free, late
Oh,
checkout free, what we do today is early check in, late checkout, and no pet fee, right? But what if you also
oh,
get breakfast, right? And we have a little breakfast set up. And then my team was like, okay, so what's that going to cost us in labor to send someone to the store? What's that? You know what I mean? It's just all the expenses. So we're
well,
still
you,
trying to find
you
out, just like you said, creating that excellence and the consistency. And so we're still trying to figure that out. But I would love to find, it's hard to come up with a packaged way coming off everything being so fresh, but some sort of way that's efficient to um, be the people that you book direct with us and you also get breakfast.
I think that's a really great idea because we do the same thing that we'll do late checkout, early check-in, free if the direct book. I think I need to do that. I need to actually advertise that. I've never even thought about the fact that we need to talk about it more. But the breakfast thing is really interesting because you could have a locked fridge or freezer somewhere like in the garage or something. You could buy bacon in bulk because bacon, if you just threw it in the fridge, and said, here's the thing, it's the eggs that are going to be a little bit harder. And I'd probably figure out a way to partner with somebody locally because you talked about this already, is like Facebook groups make things a lot easier, like really. And if you found a neighborhood group and it's just, how do you pay somebody to go grab 6 eggs from the grocery store and bring them
Yeah.
here, and what does that look like? And if you don't have a neighbor chicken lady, like a neighborhood
Right,
chicken lady
right,
that can just
right.
give you the 6 eggs and you can just be like, here, just drop them off in the house. It's interesting. But how many? It's also interesting though because not everybody likes eggs. Like some people are just disgusted by them.
We
So
already have the pancakes, so.
yeah, I know. So you like that is another version though. Is like, okay, well we leave out muffins, we leave out these other items of this because you're not going to leave out powdered eggs. That's weird.
Yeah, that wouldn't
That
be
really is a bit
ideal.
weird.
And so
No,
I
it
was like,
wouldn't.
we could do the movie watching popcorn kit. We could do a s'mores kit, but there's something about breakfast that just seems really appealing to me. So,
Yeah, it's super fun. I hope I get to check in with you in the next 6 months or year and find out, like, have you figured this out? What does it look like? How great is it? Because we do have to think about, like, what is the operational excellence of this? How do we make sure that it shows up every single time? Like, it's easy to chop a pillow every single time. It's
yeah.
maybe less easy to do this version, or
hmm
just what does that look like, and how can
And
you wow the guests?
our ranch where the micro resort is on is 30 minutes outside of town. Like it's 30 minutes from the closest grocery store, gas station. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's beautiful. It's silent. You can't hear anything but birds. It's so peaceful. But I was like, man, when people come out here, if they don't have their groceries yet, and yeah, we're offering grocery delivery up front and all that stuff, but if they don't take us up on it, they're going to be hungry, right? So I found these
Hmm.
clear containers that you attach to the wall in the kitchen and you fill them all up with different cereals and they just turn the
Yeah.
knob. And I'm like, how cute, right? I come back 2 days
Hmm.
later, they're all full of ants. And I'm like, terrible idea.
Oh
You know?
no! Oh my gosh, that is terrible. Because again, it's about like what does it look like later? Oh no.
So yeah.
So did you just get rid of it and you just don't
Yeah.
do that there anymore?
Yeah. Yeah. You get a sealed package of pancake mix. Yeah.
I think that's a good one anyways. I wanted people to be able to make their own ice cream sundaes. So we did toppings for ice cream sundaes, so like nuts and sprinkles and stuff like that in the cupboard. And then we just did a thing of ice cream in the freezer. And it just didn't take long. And then it was kind of like, well, everybody likes to lick their fingers, which is fucking gross. And like when they're taking like ice cream out of a bucket, like it's easy to just provide a bucket, but you need a bucket of ice cream every single time. And if there
Right.
is 12 people staying in your house, like you need 1 to 2 buckets of ice cream every time. And then it's like, how does this seem? It's kind of like, I mean, even coffee, we only do the single serves because, or like a little pack of it, because I don't like the idea of people coming and scooping coffee out of the same thing. I don't think it's that. Some people don't care about it. Some people do. It's like use
Yeah.
condiments. Like, do you do them? Do
I,
you not do them?
unfortunately, we throw away condiments every turn now because we had 3 different guests freak out and say this is disgusting. And I'm like, all right, I'm not going to have this conversation anymore. I like it when I show up and there's condiments in the fridge, but I'm
Hmm.
not going to have tell people It's gross,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, and we have to use single serve, like we use single serve creamers and things like that. And it's just like,
Hmm.
this is the easiest way to keep it sanitary. Like my husband's a germaphobe. Like I care about stuff like that.
Mine is
So
too. I know. I
yeah.
did think it was interesting. One of the Airbnbs we stayed in, the packet is about the size of a business card, and you tear off the top, and it's shampoo. One's shampoo, one's conditioner. And I've seen the bottles, but this is like a envelope. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So
Yeah,
there were a
that's
couple little
interesting.
cute individual, and everyone in Europe, no one had Keurigs or K cups or anything like that. Everyone just has the hot teapot, and there's a couple tea packets, and then there's little bitty Nestle sleeves that are coffee. It's just instant coffee.
Yeah.
I even went and
Hmm.
stayed recently. Have you heard of postcard cabins?
No.
It's a pretty big off grid, like you go stay. There's no Wi-Fi. You're out in the woods. Really cool,
Oh,
unique Scandinavian cabins. Marriott bought 'em about a year and a half ago. They're all over the US. They're growing like crazy. They're always within an hour and a half of the major city. So we went and stayed at one to check it out. And it's just this little thing of coffee, and you do your pour over. And it was so easy. And then I'm like, oh, and then the Keurig doesn't break every 4 months. And people don't, it's interesting that there are some little ways to make things more simple, you know?
yeah. So I love that we only have one house that two people fit in. Everything else is 10 to 14 guests for
Hmm.
us. Like we do big properties too. And I think of that and I'm just like, that's harder. Like we don't do Keurigs at most of our houses because we need to do a 9 cup because people like, I mean, if that house is full and everybody drinks coffee, that's 2 to 3 pots of coffee every single day. It's not
Yeah.
like, I mean, you really think about that. So I think there's different subsets of like, what is your avatar? What's your guest? Like, how many
There
people
is.
can you fit? Because there's cute little things you can do each time. But yeah, when it's 12 to 15 people, cute doesn't cover it anymore. It's
No.
so much harder.
Like how many times something's broken or there's a hole in the wall or something's wrong, and I called the guest that booked and they had no idea, like legitimately. There were so many stinking family members in that house. They had no
Yep.
clue, right? There's a lot of
Hmm.
people there. So yeah,
Yep.
couldn't agree more.
I have had to do those conversations too. I'm like, what is this weird stuff on the carpet? And it's literally in 7 different rooms and it looks like paint. And I'm like, I just want to know how to get it out. I have no
Yeah.
idea what you're talking about. I'm like, dang it. Could you just watch your kids? Anytime there's gonna be more than 10 kids at a house, I'm like, oh god, we're gonna have to wash the walls because they just like walk around with Cheeto fingers. They touch
100%.
everything. And you're just like,
Yeah,
ah,
and
dang it.
and I've never really been interested in small properties, but now I'm like after staying in a bunch of one bedrooms and I walk in and there's a record player and I get to listen to Italian jazz while we make dinner at night, and there's all these little things that I could never put out with the House of Sleep 16. Everything
Yep.
would be scratched and ruined the first day. So it does seem a little romantic to have a one bedroom that you could make like super charming, right?
Oh, Don, you sound just like me. I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, could we do this? And then I'm like, I don't know. I really like our big properties. I love getting to the idea of bringing 12 people to my house and just it not being a big problem. But it's fun to have just the little ones. You get to do different details. When there's only 2 people staying, like details are easier because there's probably not a kid that can rip something off the wall.
Yeah.
And, this different level of appreciation, I guess. Okay, Dawn, I need to wrap up. Tell me or tell anybody listening if they want to figure out some boutique hotels, if they want to see your places, if they want to go stay in them, like how do they find you?
Yes. So my Instagram is Dawn of a Great Day because it's just going to be a great day every day. And so I have everything connected to that. We love helping people figure out their journey to get into boutique hotels. So we have that coaching company, and then our management company for booking all the fun places and checking those out is Skyview Vacations. But everything's always linked back to Dawn of a Great Day.
Okay, awesome. This was so enjoyable. I love your spirit. I mean, that's a really weird thing to say, but you probably
No,
get
it's
it.
not.
So if somebody's listening and you don't get it, don't worry about it. Thank you so much for all the information. I think there were some really great hot takes that people can get something out of this. Folks that are listening, pick up Hospitable House STR Sisterhood Edition. It's really good. You can find Dawn on chapter 9. And if you liked this, or if somebody is trying to get into boutique hotels, please send them this episode and follow along. Thanks, Dawn. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Tanya.
That's it for this episode of the Global Hospitality Collective podcast. If today's conversation made you think, inspired you, or just reminded you why hospitality matters, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Next week, our panel, Helen, Rose, Debbie and myself are back, and we're going beyond the listings and the tech, diving headfirst into real stories, the hard decisions, and yes, all those weird and wacky guest experiences you won't believe are true. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Thanks for listening, and as always, keep hosting with heart. See you next time.